Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends with Terry. Today we are looking at a new ship that I have, and yes, this is the Tier 4. Given that there's, in the German battleship line, given that there are only 8 tiers, that means I'm halfway through. Obviously the grind is going to get longer. But this is the König, after the Kaiser. Slightly, it always confuses me that the Kaiser, being the Emperor, is a tier lower than the König, being the king. But yeah, such is naming. She comes with a slightly more sensible gun layout, with a single turret in the middle rather than the en echelon setup that we've had previously, but still maintains the relatively low caliber of the 305mm guns. How have I set this ship up? I'm not by no means an expert on anything. I'm just going to go by my gut feeling. It's a German battleship. It needs a secondary setup. So this module gives me 20% range on the secondaries, and I do have the 3 upgrades. So the B-hole, the targeting system, and the engine. Although I think when I was playing still, the recorded gameplay, that was without the engine upgrade. And yes, obviously she has, if I can find it, where do I see the, sorry, I am confusion. Where do I see the, I think I have to go into play, and then I can, yeah, then I can see the captain. Okay, so I do have autoceliacs at level 8 now. But one thing that I've really come to realize about Warships Legends is that the captain skills are more than just small amount, like relatively minor changes. These are quite massive. So things like especially the degrees of mastery, like the secondary gun range here, and the secondary reload, and these sort of things. So I'm not yet anywhere near the legendary skills, and I am currently using Share as an inspiration, although probably von Hipper might be a nicer one, because he actually has the elbow room skill, which would be adopted. The thing is that I haven't actually used von Hipper and haven't upgraded him, so I might reconsider that, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so yeah, the König, still German battleship. Again, I can't see the actual values of what. Can I long tap on this? No. Where was it? It was somewhere else. I think it was in the tech tree. Yes. So it gives me a number, but it doesn't really tell me anything. So I know that she's got 305mm main guns, and I know that the secondary range should be relatively decent, depending on the captain setup. But yeah, that is my new tier 4 ship, and let's see her in action on what I think is called the Warriors Path map. We are top tier, so lots of 3 destroyers in the enemy team, and 2 very unfortunate light cruisers. Other than that, a bunch of Wyomings, a Tiger, and something Soviet. So I'm still not 100% certain about the actual ranges on these things. The 305mm main guns are pretty good, but obviously I would prefer to play within secondary range, given that this is a German battleship, and that is sort of the purpose. The problem obviously being you have to play a little bit more tactical, because if you are just charging into the enemy team, then you get yourself sunk pretty quickly, especially when torpedoes are involved. Anyway, so I'm spawning over at CCAP. I'm going to start aligning the gun turrets, because that takes forever, because these turrets do not like to turn very well. And then we'll see what the destroyer is doing here. And we'll push northwards towards ACAP and give my team a bit of fire support. Destroyer seems to be going for the gap between the islands there. So that's a good starting position. And despite, I find I haven't really noticed it that much in tier 3, but in tier 4 I definitely start. I'm finding that I'm not always fighting in secondary range. More often than not, I am more fighting at longer ranges until late in the game when we can get into closer ranges. But it's still good to have your and you have your main guns ready, especially with light cruisers showing up and potentially threatening my Clemson here. Is one enemy battleship spotted about A cup, and there is one of the light cruisers, but that's the Wyoming. So I'm just gonna slow down here, and I'm not spotted, so I might be able to fire across the island without getting myself spotted. Unfortunately, now the Wyoming is no longer detected because the Clemson is going behind an island as well. So got nothing really to shoot at, and now I am spotted. So there is something out there, potentially enemy destroyer. Or maybe it's the carrier. I have no idea what the spotting ranges are. But there's that Wyoming again. And yes, the gun angles are a lot easier to work with now. So let's get the shots out at 12 kilometers. And yes, the dispersion is German, so most of these shells are going everywhere. But we've got 2 shots on target. And there is our first customer. Hello, Mr. Kuma. I'm sort of going with Japanese light cruiser pretty fast. I'm going with almost three ticks on the rangefinder while we are getting attacked from the air. So salvo out. Hello, Mr. Kuma, and yep, that's on target. Okay, airdrop torpedoes. Not an awful lot I can do about those, but that's why you don't damage on single fires. First heal up, and the Kuma's already dead. But there might be more torpedoes in the way, so I'm going to start speeding up now and unloading at the Wyoming. American battleship should be reasonably slow, standard type. Still need a little bit more. But yeah, against light cruisers, you are pretty devastating. So, but I think that's generally true in battleships. Anyway, we've got a light cruiser of our own here, so torpedoes incoming. Yeah, I don't think I need to worry about those. Now let's take on the Wyoming, and I'm angling relatively straight to make sure that most of his shells are bouncing off. He is angled as well, so we're pretty equal in that regard. But I have a Clemson. And there come his torpedoes. Clemsons have lots of torpedoes. And I don't think the Wyoming has realized that I have a Clemson. Yes, there he goes. Pop! Well done, Clemson. Okay, so that's that Wyoming dealt with. Given that there should have been 2 of them. Yep, there's the enemy destroyer. There should not be anything else around A-Cup. So we may as well start making our way up northwards and make ourselves useful while lobbing shells across the map. Oh, Omaha, another light cruiser. Don't mind if I do. That might have needed a little bit more lead, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think that wasn't enough lead. I need 3 ticks almost lead, so not enough lead. But I don't know where that enemy destroyer went, so just be careful. Just being careful if there are any torpedoes incoming. Up there is the Turbine, I think it was. It's not an Italian. But yeah, Omaha over there. I should be able to get behind the island without being at danger from torpedoes. So three ticks rangefinder, shots out at the Omaha, and that looks a little better. But at this range, it's an RNG question. I'm just over penetrating the superstructure there. That's if I manage to hit him hit him on the broadside, then he's dead. But he will get away. He will get away otherwise. And I'm not sure I can still get the rear turrets lobbed around. Let's see if we can. Yes, we can still get the rear turret shots out from the rear turrets at the Omaha. But I think that hasn't really done an awful lot. So we are, however, where we wanted to be, which is A Cup. But I think the friendly team is losing relatively badly around B Cup. So I'm going to lend some fire support here. So there is a battleship in front of us, but there's also Wyoming over there, which is heading down towards the friendly carrier. And I think my team is in full retreat. We are a kill ahead still at this point, but we do need to take A Cup as soon as we can. I'm just giving some support to the Wyoming. There are some torpedoes coming in. I'm slowing down here. Some support against the Wyoming here, but then we will need to help the friendly team dealing with the battleship ahead. I just have to make sure that I don't eat any more torpedoes. And at this range, even a standard type battleship needs a bit more lead by the looks of it. So I think the torpedoes have been dodged. I can move forward again. And yeah, there's a Tiger. and that's a light cruiser on our side, so it definitely needs some assistance. Let's get the secondaries into the game here. 6 kilometers, I'm not sure if that's close enough for the secondaries, but we have a nice... No, don't turn, give me more broadside. We have a relatively flat broadside to shoot at, and I think he is just about to turn now. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold the main guns. I'm just going to engage the secondary overload skill, and I think that Marblehead there is going to go for a ram. But unfortunately that means, yeah, I don't think his torpedoes are going to arm at this range. That means that I can't shoot because that ship was in the way. Now I can, but all these shells have missed in typical German fashion at 3 kilometers. The secondaries, however, are working the Tiger over, so that should not be so much of a problem. To nobody's great surprise, the Rattlehead has been sunk, but I've managed to finish off the Tiger, and now we can complete the cap and deal with the carrier while still giving fire support to the friendly carrier, who I believe is now alone. But that Wyoming over there is the only enemy ship left after except for the carrier. So it's just a matter of... Oh, somebody has managed to friendly fire sink someone? Or was that just comms? That might have been just comms. Shots out at Wyoming at 10 kilometer long range. Not going to do an awful lot, but we got 4 shells on target. See, that's what I mean. I'm more often than not, I am not actually engaging anything within secondary battery range, but I still think that the secondary build is kind of the more fun option of the whole thing. With these 305s, while they are relatively low caliber, they can hurt if they hit. So still a fun ship, even if I don't manage to get in close as much as I want to. And yeah, well, excuse me, I'm sailing here. You're in a cruiser. Pay attention, will you? Okay, we almost got... I know we do have the cap, but there are more enemy planes in. We're shooting a fair amount of planes down. I'm kind of having to estimate the salvo there at the Wyoming. But the carrier is... Where's the carrier? Let's see where the planes are going. There's the carrier. Okay, so I can either sail on the eastern side of the island and turn the guns around, or sail on the western end of the island. But then the carrier might be able to escape. I'm just going to turn the guns around. Either way around, I'm not going to spot the carrier until I'm closer range, and this way I might be able to get past the island before he drops these torpedoes on me. So we're just going to go straight ahead, full speed, and the friendly carrier will have to deal with with whatever's left of the Wyoming himself. But even if the carrier goes down, we're 300 points ahead, so I think at this point we don't have an awful lot of problems. Shot a plane down, and we managed to avoid 2 of the torpedoes. We've taken 2, but we'll just use the last heal, and then hopefully we'll get the enemy carrier in range pretty soon. And it's time for some payback. Yeah, there you are. I see you. Oh, there he is. Oh, that was the carrier, actually, the last one. It's a Soviet carrier. The Komsomolets. So let's see what my 305s are doing against carriers. Semi-pen, okay. Well, let's see. He is border humping, obviously. But now I have to sort of think of... Okay, that's all over penetrating. I have to sort of think now if I want to keep the main guns on target, or if I want to close the range for the secondaries. So I'm trying to not angle too much away, such that I can keep my rear turrets still on target. That completely missed. German dispersion right there. But at the same time, trying to close the range sufficiently. Yeah, that's more like it. That I can get the secondaries engaged as well. And all the while hammering away with the main guns. But I'm quite happy with that battle. I mean, yes, we are top tier, but still, I'm quite pleased with this battle. And I found generally that playing a bit more cautiously at the onset rather than rushing blindly into enemy fire and engaging at long ranges, while then in the second half of the game using the health and using the health advantage and the armor and tends to net pretty decent results. So quite pleased with the German battleships for now. It looks like the T-22 has managed to take out the Wyoming. Well done. And that just leaves the Komsomolets, who is trying to drop torpedoes on me again. I am varying my speed here, but I think I'm still going to take one torpedo. But yeah, someone else took out the carrier, but that's all right. It was the last ship alive, and I think we're still done decently. Overall, with almost 100,000 points of damage, 3 citadels, and not that many secondary battery hits, but came on top of the team. Now we were top tier, so that's sort of expected, but still quite happy with that so far, and I'm enjoying this ship. Now we'll see when I make it to tier 5. That might be a little bit, but that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.